Good evening, everyone. Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Judd here with your weather update. We are tracking a gorgeous day tomorrow, going to be dealing with some gusty winds, but overall it's going to be a pleasant day and near record warmth. Temperatures are soaring into the 70s, about 10 degrees warmer with respect to this afternoon before we track a cool down Thursday. And from there, well, not only the remainder of this week, but quite possibly next weekend, even this month, could very well remain colder than what we're going to see coming our way tomorrow. We're going to settle into a more seasonal pattern that does even feature some days where temperatures are likely a little bit below normal. So without further ado, good evening, everyone. Let's jump into things, shall we? Our current temperatures right now across the area, 60s to 50s. Most of us still holding into the 60s, though, not far from where those highs were, which were closer towards that 70-degree mark. When we look at that 24-hour temperature change, we saw this afternoon as well, even closer to 24 degrees warmer this afternoon. Right now, 22 degrees warmer in Wheeling, 20 in New Philadelphia, but still 20-plus degrees warmer from this afternoon, continuing into this evening with respect to yesterday. And again, it's not as drastic of a warm up tomorrow. We're closer to about 10 degrees warmer with respect to what we have for today, but still an unseasonably warm day. And a testament to how unseasonably warm it's going to be, check out our low temperature tomorrow morning, which will likely be mid-upper 40s. So not as cold of a start. We do not have that frosty start to tomorrow like what we have for today. It's more chilly than cold is a good way to put it tomorrow morning. But our low temperature tomorrow morning likely not far from our normal high this time of the year. That really puts it into perspective there, just how warm it's going to be on Wednesday. And then notice after tomorrow, for the remainder of the weekend, even if we were to extend this likely into much of next week, you could see that more seasonable pattern where temperatures were stringing these days together. We're likely dealing with temperatures in the 50s. I think we'll mix in some 40s as well. So we're back to more cool days with some chilly days in the mix. That is our future after tomorrow. So certainly a good time if you can get out, enjoy the outdoors tomorrow with those unseasonably warm temperatures before we're back towards reality. Again, it's not real cold looking ahead, but certainly going to be a more cool days than warm days after tomorrow, likely looking ahead into the end of this month. And you may have noticed that Thursday, 53, what's going on there? Well, Thursday is going to be one of those days where those temperatures are a bit unconventional, where our low temperature in the morning also coincides to be our high temperature of the day. Temperatures will be in the 50s as we start off a daybreak Thursday. We'll actually be then cooling through the 40s into the afternoons. The afternoon's a bit colder with a cold front passage Thursday morning. We get behind that cold front and then temperatures are cooling going throughout the day. So if you're wondering why the high low is exactly the same Thursday, well, they're going to coincide with each other Thursday morning and the temperatures cool going throughout the day. And we're on our way, as you can see, by Friday morning, likely even ending up just into the 20s going into Friday morning. For your Wednesday, yes, near record warmth. We are getting very close. The forecast mid-upper 70s tomorrow, and that's right where the record high is for the Ohio County Airport at 77 degrees. That was set in 2012. So we've got a good chance we're not only nearing it, maybe even at least reaching it. And who knows, we may, if we trend just a couple degrees warmer, we're even breaking that record high. It's possible. So we'll see just how high those temperatures can climb tomorrow, but nonetheless, near record warmth anticipated for our area tomorrow afternoon. Clouds and radar, we are tracking a few more clouds in the mix tonight, mostly clear skies, a southerly wind. Those both in combination will yield rather chilly than cold start to tomorrow, right? We're not into the 30s again. We're not tracking freezing temperatures tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a much more warmer start to the day tomorrow with respect to what we had for this morning. Not going to be a frosty start to tomorrow. Low temperatures hold likely mid to upper 40s tomorrow morning. Mix of sun and clouds then follows as we go throughout your day on Wednesday. We'll see a further increase in cloud cover than Wednesday night. This is as skies turn cloudy out ahead of that cold front passage. Now this front will likely pass fairly close to the morning commute. And that is good news. With the frontal passage being as early as it's going to be Thursday morning, it really cuts into the severe weather risk and even the risk for thunderstorms as well. Maybe we have a rumble of thunder and a heavier shower, but we're even cutting off a lot of that risk for thunderstorms and certainly that risk for severe weather. So thankfully, good news that yes, this is quite a strong cold front passage, but with the timing being into the morning hours, this is great news for us as it really lessens the risk for any severe weather for us. That risk is going to set off set up more towards our east and certainly towards our west tomorrow, looking into locations towards Indiana. But again, we're thankfully seeing that front pass at a very good time to really lessen the potential for impacts with this cold front passage. Those showers then continue behind that cold front going into Thursday afternoon. Again, notice our temperatures, they're cooling going during this time period. So we start off in the 50s at Thursday morning, and then we'll cool through the 40s Thursday afternoon, eventually ending up into the 30s and likely by the evening. And yes, with a few lingering showers early Thursday night, and we're likely seeing a transition to more of a snow shower than rain shower. Yeah, how about that? Going from temperatures well in the 70s to some snow showers. 'Tis the season, though, for us here in the Ohio Valley in the spring. We get these big temperature swings, and we could deal with a couple seasons in a matter of 24 hours. And that's certainly what we're seeing set up here over the next couple of days. The good news is with these snow showers, we're looking at little or no snow accumulation. We'd be looking at roads just remaining wet. I don't foresee anything impactful from this. And on the wintry side of things, going into Thursday night, and by the latter part of Thursday night, we're drying up into Friday morning. We're even seeing a decrease in cloud cover. A lot of sunshine breaking out Friday, but again, at that point, it is not as warm as what we're going to see tomorrow. High temperatures are holding in the 50s despite abundant sunshine for your Friday. Again, thankfully, the wintry impacts anticipated to be minimal. And the good news is, in terms of flooding concerns, those impacts look minimal as well. We're only dealing with a trace to a quarter of an inch. So we're not anticipating, the wintry impacts, flooding impacts, severe weather impacts. Thankfully, this is a low impact event, really to the point where I think you could say it's more of a nuisance than anything impactful, just dodging some showers going throughout the day on Thursday. So certainly good news there. And we have the whole second half of Thursday night to help dry out these surfaces before we would be reaching that freezing mark to the point where any lingering water would freeze on surfaces. So good news there that likely keeps to, impacts to a very minimal as well. We'll have a breeze in place during that stretch to help dry things out as well going into Friday morning. So good news is, this is nothing like this weekend. This is a much more quiet event. The impacts much less this time around with respect to what we saw going throughout this weekend, looking ahead going into your Thursday. That being said, we will have some gusty winds. Again, nothing likely to the extent of this weekend, but here over the next couple of days, we will be dealing with some gusty winds, wind gusts likely upwards of even 30 miles per hour, not only for Thursday with the cold front passage, but for tomorrow as well. By the time we get into Friday, that's when those winds will start to diminish. So even Thursday night, there's still a bit of a breeze in place, but then as we go throughout the day Friday, that's when those winds will further diminish. So do anticipate some breezy conditions here over the next couple of days where we can see those wind gusts reach upwards of 30 miles per hour. And that being said, while our weather is quiet tomorrow, one thing we do have to watch for is the risk for a fire. For fire weather watch. So what I mean by that, well, the risk is any fires that happen to develop, they can spread rapidly. So that's what our concern is for tomorrow. And the conditions that set up for any fires spreading rapidly is when we have dry air, which we do. Relative humidity can get down to even 14%. So we have that very dry air in place. We're dealing with those warm temperatures in the 70s. We're dealing with those gusty winds with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. All of those in combination yield conditions where any fires that do happen to develop can spread rapidly. So that's why we do have a fire weather watch in effect going into effect tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. That will continue through tomorrow evening. So that being said, with this in effect going through tomorrow, while it's certainly a nice day to enjoy the outdoors, it's not a nice day to enjoy any outdoor burning. So definitely avoid any outdoor burning, as while, yes, it could be contained initially, things can get out of hand quickly with these conditions in place that we have for tomorrow with a fire weather watch in effect. So again, just something to note, it's going to be a gorgeous day to enjoy the outdoors tomorrow, but avoid outdoor burning. As unfortunately, these conditions that we see for tomorrow, great to enjoy the outdoors, but not good for any fires that happen to develop because they can unfortunately spread rapidly. So we have to keep a close eye on that going throughout that stretch. Going through tomorrow before the fire, these conditions improve by the time we get to Thursday once we see that rain start to break out with some of these showers. But just something to note for tomorrow with that fire weather watch in effect. So your 9+1 day forecast, a mix of sun and clouds Wednesday, showers then returning on Thursday. Again, rainfall amounts only traced to a quarter of an inch, not a whole lot. Maybe a rumble of thunder, maybe some gusty winds in general in those showers early Thursday in the morning hours, but thankfully nothing to where we're likely dealing with with any severe weather. The severe weather risk low, wintry impacts kept to a minimum with a few snow showers that we can see in place Thursday night. And again, we're not anticipating any flooding. So all good news that this is a much more quiet event coming our way Thursday with respect to this weekend. And I think a lot of that carries over to this weekend as well, that those showers that we see Saturday, less of an impact, more of a nuisance, I would say. I don't think we're seeing anything really impactful coming our way this weekend. Certainly much more quiet this weekend with respect to last weekend. And while we'll deal with more showers Saturday, we'll look to dry back up on Sunday, and then we'll track more showers early next week. Notice what we were discussing about how Wednesday is likely the warmest day for the foreseeable future, that we'll deal with temperatures back in the 50s next week. And yes, I think a couple of days at least where we could deal with temperatures even in the 40s. We'll likely get our coolest day around the middle of next week. That's when those temperatures look to even hold in the 40s. So that's a chilly day that we'll see in place tomorrow. Renee is joining us saying good evening, enjoying the warm weather. Certainly nice today, and looking forward to tomorrow as well. It's gorgeous. And Renee says hopefully no more snowbirds. Shouldn't see that. Conditions should improve good enough for Friday where we should not have to deal with any more snowbird alerts. Shelly says, okay, hopefully this will be the last of the cold weather. Thanks, Nathan. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As this is, it's a chilly stretch going here, looking ahead going into we do extend into April, but overall, nothing real cold, right? It's more seasonable than anything. And we'll have some days where we're trending a little bit below normal, but nothing really cold looks to be on our future here going towards the end of the month. Now, something else before we say goodbye here, I want to mention tomorrow at 9:50 a.m. It's worth mentioning that this is for Ohio. This is not for West Virginia, but for Ohio, we have a statewide tornado drill. Now, West Virginia's statewide tornado drill is not until next Tuesday. So again, this is just for Ohio, but next Tuesday, the 25th at 11 a.m. will be West Virginia's statewide tornado drill. So yeah, you're going to hear the siren sound at 9:50 a.m. in Ohio for tomorrow. And, do not freak out, right? Don't worry. This is the statewide tornado drill, but this is a good reminder that it is a good time to practice, what you're going to do in the event of a tornado warning issue, right? And this is a great time to plan out where your safe place is. Where are you going to seek shelter, right? This is a perfect opportunity to do this, as with the statewide tornado drill, is having that mindset. Okay, if a tornado warning is issued for me, where am I going to go? And it's a lot better to think of a plan right now and not think of a plan as soon as the warning's issued, right? Because at that point you have a matter of seconds, minutes to seek shelter, right? And you don't have enough time to really think about where to go. So it's good to have that plan in place before we get into the core here of our severe weather season, where we're dealing with tornado warnings. We already had rounds of severe weather so far for this season. And again, this is only the beginning. So good time to make plans. So here's some tips on figuring out, okay, where am I going to seek shelter if a tornado warning is issued? Well, obviously, getting indoors is kind of a given, right? Want to get indoors, you want a sturdy structure. You want a sturdy structure to get into, and you want to be avoiding the windows. Windows are going to be a weak point. Your garage door is also a weak point. Those are weak points in your home where debris can get into. If you have debris coming through your window, obviously, then you have to not only worry about debris getting blown around your room, you can also have then some glass getting blown around. Not a good situation. Why it's said to avoid windows, as again, that's where debris can get in. That debris then can become harmful, and you want to be seeking shelter away if you can, the best you can, avoid windows. The lowest floor, obviously basement, right, is what we're all thinking. Basement's going to be the best place to seek shelter. If you don't have a basement and you say you live in a 2-story home, first floor, right? Get to the lowest floor that you have. If it's just one single floor you live on, you're already there, right? And in that event, then the next safest place that we're going to get to after we get to our lowest floor is, if you have it, an interior room. The idea there is that you have, the most walls between you and the outdoors, right? You almost have that, double shield, if you will, right? You have not only the exterior wall, but that interior wall guarding you as well. And it is the interior room can, oftentimes be left untouched. It can be left untouched. You can walk out of your interior room and you can see debris all around you, and even some of your exterior walls taken down by a tornado, but that interior room can quite literally be untouched. I saw that firsthand, and covering the Dayton tornado outbreaks in 2019. I was there firsthand and I saw that. I talked to a couple where that's what they did. They managed to have a bathroom that was an interior room. And if you were to look inside of it, literally nothing was touched. Nothing was moved at all in that interior room. And as soon as you step outside, you saw debris all over the place. Again, some of their exterior walls were taken down by a tornado. And again, that is certainly the best option if you have that interior room. Again, I know this is not a direct correlation to all of us, but I know that everyone's situation varies depending on where we live. But these are just some tips that hopefully you can follow in trying to determine your best place to seek shelter in the event of a tornado warning. And again, I'm bringing this up because if you're just tuning in, I'll say one last time. The statewide tornado drill is tomorrow for Ohio, not for West Virginia, for Ohio, March 19th, tomorrow, 9:50 a.m. The sirens will sound with the statewide tornado drill. And next Tuesday is when West Virginia's statewide tornado drill will occur. It's next Tuesday. That would be the 25th, and that is at 11 a.m. So keep that in mind as well if you're tuning in from West Virginia. Yours will be next week, next Tuesday, and it will be at 11 a.m. If you're tuning in from Ohio, well, yours is tomorrow at 9:50 a.m. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy that gorgeous weather tomorrow. Keep in mind, avoid outdoor burning. And fortunately, while those conditions are beautiful, they are not good for fires, as any fires that develop can spread rapidly with those gusty winds, dry air, and those warm temperatures. So keep that in mind, that enjoy the outdoors, but avoid any outdoor burning going through tomorrow with a fire weather watch in effect going throughout the day. All right, everyone, have a good night. Catch me coming up Newsnight at 10 on Fox 9, Newsnight tonight at 11. And of course, join me right back here tomorrow evening with your next weather update.